Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am super excited to talk to you guys about government certifications and why I should have one. So, just a little bit about myself. My name is Michelle Lenore, and I help small businesses really get acclimated within the government certification space so you can get government certified and so you can get government contracts. And if you say, Michelle, why do I need to work with the government? Why should I need these government certifications? Do I really need it? I am in the beauty industry. So if you are in my group and you saw one of the postings was about a beauty and barber shop. And there was a contract out there for $60,000. So you tell me, can you use $60,000? Of course you can use $60,000. Um, so I'm going to tackle mostly some of the questions that I hear. And it's like, why should I invest my business into the government? The government's already in my business. I send them my taxes, I give them my taxes, things like that. If you're already submitting your taxes to the government, guess what? The government is already in your business. So why not get paid by the government, right? And the government is one of, other than like the royal family over there in Iran who deals with, I hope I got it right, who deals with oil. The US government is one of the biggest globally, one of the biggest clients in the world. And when we think of the world needs everything. All right. So just going back to the beauty industry, I have posted to let you guys know in the state of Massachusetts, they were looking for these different items and they were willing to pay you $60,000. Do you guys hear me? $60,000. So you might say, well, Michelle, that's $60,000. It's Massachusetts. Who really deals with the government anyway that I know of? So what if I told you in the beauty industry, L'Oreal. Yes, we all heard of L'Oreal. L'Oreal even have contracts with the government. So when I tell you guys that it doesn't matter what industry that you are in, okay, that the government needs you, they want you, whatever service, whatever product, they need you. And so the purpose of these minority certifications is that they take these billions upon billions of dollars, they set it aside for people who look like me, people who look like my son, people who look like my daughter, people who look like you. Okay. They set this money aside because they realized at some point in time they were missing out on great services and great products. And again, they absolutely need you. So I am going to take a look at if there's any questions that's out there. Most definitely, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to help out with any questions that you have. But I want you guys to really think about what number do I have in my mind that I want to make this year. And I'm gonna let you know that will take maybe one contract, maybe it'll take two contracts, maybe it's take three contracts. But are you willing to put in the work? And so I did hear like, oh, Michelle, it takes work. If we're entrepreneurs, we know it's going to take work anyway. So if you're in the IT space, say if you're in the IT space and you want to present to Microsoft, do you think that doesn't take any work? This is the same with the government. But this is what happens when you have these minority certifications. That if you have this idea and you have this service, that you are not competing. Like I don't compete with L'Oreal. Okay, L'Oreal is a multi-million dollar company, right? But if I'm in that beauty space, there are contracts that are set aside for me if I have that minority certification. So I'm competing with people who look like me and who have a business size that I have. All right, so here's one of the first questions. What certifications do I need to apply for? This is my first time doing this. So I'm unfortunately, the way that my system is set up, I don't know if that's coming for a male or from a female. So I'm going to answer it for both. So for a female, one of the most important certifications that you need to have if you are a white female is WBE. That stands for Women Business Owned Enterprise. All right. So if you are a Black female, that's MBE, and that is a Minority Business Enterprise. So that is any female, the MBE for the government is any woman that is not a white female. Okay. So that is how they distinguish white female, Black female with the W and with the B. If you are a male of color, then you would get the DBE. Now, the other two categories get the DB also, the DBE, which is Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. All right. So the first one that you would need to get is you want to be able to be recognized by any industry that you are a minority owned company. So you would need either the WBE, the MBE, or the DBE. Okay. So I know that's a lot of alphabet. That's the alphabet of government certifications. There's other certifications that's out there, but these really translate very well across the government entities and also in transfers well within corporate America. And so within corporate America, if they know that you have these certifications, they will reach out to you, but you have to let them know that you are certified. They are looking for you, especially for women of color. Did you guys hear me? They're looking for women of color. So you need to get your MBE, which is Minority Business Enterprise. Okay, so I have another one. I definitely want to know the requirements to become registered as a double minority owned business. Absolutely. So one of the most important things that I really want you guys to think about is when you set your business up, you want to set it up as a very solid business, that you need a bank account, but you need a bank account that is a business bank account, that you're not mixing funds. This is one of the biggest issues that I come across with businesses, that is like, oh, I do business out of my personal account. Don't do it, guys, because then that gives the government permission to go and look at your personal information. You don't want to give them any permission. So if you've ever been audited, you only give what the auditor asks you. You don't give them extra stuff, right? And the other thing that is most important is your taxes. If you are not a student, a lot of students are still being put on their parents' taxes. If you're not a student, you should be filing your personal taxes. If you have not filed your personal taxes, run, jump, hop, skip, get QuickBooks, get something, get started, go to H&R Block, get everything started. They want to see your taxes between 3 to 5 years of your personal taxes. Okay. So the only exception to that, again, if you don't have any personal taxes, is that you would have to have been, again, a student or incarcerated. All right. And yes, you can be government certified even if you have went to prison. There are some stipulations to that, but you could have had a felony. It all depends which felony, misdemeanor. The biggest thing that I know for sure that they won't let you in is if you went to prison for fraud, especially if it had anything dealing with the government. Okay. But that still doesn't mean that you can't work with others who are certified. So again, your taxes have to be your personal taxes, 3 to 5 years of your personal taxes. The other thing is that you have to make sure that you submit your business taxes. So I'm not going to go into all of that. The biggest thing that I find is people who don't submit their personal taxes. The government will not do business with you if you are not submitting your taxes, because guess what? You're asking to use taxpayers' money to promote and to grow your business. All right, so there's another question. What are the most common mistakes when people are applying? How long is the wait? The most common mistakes again, are not having your taxes in order and not having your business submitted within the state. You got to go to the Secretary of State. Okay. And you have to file your business. Yeah. Like California, I think for LLC is $800. That's the cost of doing business in California, right? So if you're in other states, $250, $200. So that is one of the biggest mistakes that I've seen. And how long is the wait? It all depends on the state and how diligent you are. And so I will most definitely talk about that within some other postings and when I go live again. How can I send my child to school of their choice from your Facebook post? Oh, I love that, Stacy. So I actually see this, Stacy. So, Stacy, when I said, do you want to send your child, right, to college for free or not for free, financially stable? This is when I talk about these contracts. If you guys are part of Lola Group, I had posted a post in there that one of my clients, she was able to get a contract that was $500,000. Okay. Do you guys hear me? That's $500,000. $500,000. So she has children. Do you think that she's going to be concerned about her children going to school of choice? No. But what she did, she put herself in position. She went ahead and she applied and she went ahead and she bid on this contract and she won. So when I say money is out there, it's out there. So can you imagine having, and this is just one contract she had. This is a $500,000 contract that she will be done with by the end of next month. So it was a 2-month contract for $500,000. So when I say, do you want your child to go to school and you don't be concerned about finances? This is exactly what I'm talking about. The government needs what you have. Ryan asks, do you do consultations? Absolutely, Ryan. Check me out on michellelenore.com. Again, that is michellelenore.com. If you want to do a 60-minute, if you want to do a 2-hour consultation, I have a couple different consultations. I most definitely, would be willing to talk with you guys. All right, let me see the next question. How can my video editing business do business with the government? I love that. The government does commercials all the time. When you see the public commercials, when you see things about the president, and I'm not talking about when they're campaigning, but they want to let everybody know about this particular program. So that's more on the federal level. If you want to look within your state, schools do it all the time, right? The counties, the parishes, the regions, the states, they're always doing these types of commercials. They have contracts out for that. And a lot of times when they have contracts out for that, they make that pretty much a multi-year contract. So they're not always looking for another person or another group that can do their commercials. So again, they're out that construction groups. They look for different individuals who have production and editing because they want to take snapshots and pictures and stuff as buildings go up. So again, you have great opportunities within the construction space too. So especially when they're doing the infrastructure, there's a lot of opportunity out there. Is it true that being that I am currently military and just started a new trucking LLC that I get first dibs on government contracts? So if you are going through the VOSB, then yes, that is for the veterans. That's completely different. But if we're just talking about for the DBE and the WBE and the MBE, no, that is the same across the board. So with you being in the military, I most definitely make sure you get your certification, both the VOSB and you want to get, let's see, Melody. So female, then you would get the MBE, the DBE, and the ACDBE. All right, Minister Elfrida, do you find that there is a need in specific areas more than others? Yes. So right now, so when I say you can still again, get contracts. I told you about the $60,000 one. That one is currently open in the state of Massachusetts for the beauty industry. The biggest ones right now, the top are transportation, trucking, logistics. Then it's construction. Then it's IT. It's always consulting. So if you do any type of consulting in any of those or in any space, they're always looking for consulting in those. So those sort of fall underneath those, but it can be anything. Event planning. There's a lot of event planners that I know of. I was able to send a couple event planners showing them there's options for event planning. If you are a teacher of any kind, again, I'm going to talk about the beauty industry. A lot of schools, a lot of colleges are looking for your expertise. So they have openings, and you can go ahead and bid for a contract for $25,000 for a 2-day session about your expertise. You do that session, they swipe the card, you got $25,000. That is how easy it is to make money with the government. Next question. How can my beauty business be a service to the government? Okay, and I just answered that. Again, the government, a lot of times they're looking for products and they're looking for instruction. So if you are in, or if you're close to a women's prison, whatever state that you're in, they're always asking for different trades and skill sets to teach the women prisoners. So if you have a program in place, you can submit that program so you can have them learn a trade before they leave out of the system. This is the same way for also for the in-between. So there's a lot of in-between with foster children. They have that in-between. They have government money for the in-between. Do you have a program to help foster children? This is a great trade for them to have, okay? Next question. How can my hair restoration center work with the government? So with the Hair Restoration Center, this is absolutely great because within the VA hospitals, there are there's some cancer patients. You know, I hate to say that there are some cancer patients, but guess what? You can talk about your restoration hair product, right? That can help hair growth after they go through a certain type of, and that's almost my time, guys, that they go through a certain type of treatment. So you can, again, present that type of product when they have that. Believe it or not, they'll have that. They'll say something like, we have a hospital in this area that helps this type of group of people. Are there beauty products that can help them, you know, that can help restore them? All right. Let's see, I have 2 more questions. And then I'm going to call it. It says, how long do I need to be in business to qualify? That's a very good question. You don't have to be in business very long. The stipulations for how long you have to be in business to get your DBE, MBE, WBE, or ACDBE certification is that you have to have the licensing, whatever state or industry that you are in. You have to have all of that information first, and then you can apply to get certified. So it's not 1 year, it's not 2 years, it's not 3 years. The 1 and the 2 years, that can be statewide. Sometimes the states have some stipulations. And then also more of private organizations some of the private organizations do require for you to be in business for 2 years before they will certify you. For the government, you do not have to be in business for those certifications that I just mentioned for any length of time. As long as you have all your paperwork in order, you can go ahead and you can submit your information to be government certified. Let's see, Carlos. I work with women affected by domestic violence. Is there opportunities available? Absolutely. The same opportunities, again, for the beauty industry that you go into the women's prisons, you can have a program. They're always asking about program. They always want to bring the women, right? They want them to be whole. So when they leave the system, that they are going to be great citizens within that system. So you have a program, you go in there and you talk to them about it. All right. So again, you know, you have to read the stipulations. Sometimes they ask for therapists. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes you don't have to have a license for that. Okay. The same with young ladies. I used to stay in the state of North Carolina, one of the counties that I was in, they always were bringing people in to speak to the students about sexual harassment. All right. So you come in, sometimes they would give you, they're like, okay, this is just a $5,000 gig for 3 hours. Okay. You win it. After you're done, you have the person waiting for you. They swipe your card, $5,000, you're done. Okay. Keisha, is there a list of requirements before you apply for certification? There is a list. Most definitely check out my website, michellelenore.com. I do have some information out there. It's not an all-inclusive list because it all depends on the state and the region that you live in. There are some things that they ask for more than others, but the two biggest, like I said, is most definitely are your taxes and your bank account for your business. And so I'm super excited that you guys logged on. If you have more questions, please reach out to me. This is just the opportunity for a lot of you guys to be debt free. Okay. This is a lot of time. This is opportunities for you to buy cars. It's just cash. You know, you're swiping your card, you're getting the car that you want. This is not a pipe dream. You know, I'm serious about this, guys. You know, I've been helping clients win $500,000 contracts, over $1 million contracts. The money is out here and they are looking for you. The government needs you, okay? Because with those certifications, like I say, they transfer over. One of my clients, she used her certification, okay? She plopped it on LinkedIn. So right now she is preparing to get a multi-year contract making $250,000. That's it. That's all. That's one. Okay. So that more than double than what she made last year. And that's just one. And what? We're in the month of May. It's time for us to win. I'm ready for us to win. I appreciate all of you guys logging in, and I will answer this last question. The certifications that I'm talking about are only for-profit businesses. You have to be for-profit. This is not nonprofit. This is for-profit. But thank you guys again. Most definitely, if you want to go ahead and reach out to me, set up a consultation, I'll be more than happy to talk with you guys, look at your paperwork. We walk through some things, and be on the lookout for my class on Teachable that will walk you through it. This is a on demand, so you can take your time. I do have some other things that's out there, but most definitely, if you have more questions, reach out to me. Like I say, let's go get our money because the government has it and it is yours. You guys have a wonderful evening.